Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Would you sleep with sick women?
I may be pregnant, but I'm still a man.
Thank the unruly ones.
It's indecent, it's vulgar, it's blasphemous.
I'm gonna ride you till you can't stand up. Come on, let's go down. All right, keep your shirt on.
Loveline's meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Here's Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Yes, it is. Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Adam Carolla, that's Dr. Drew, is a board-certified physician. Tonight, our guest, the new man from Men Behaving Badly, Ken Marino, is in here. Tomorrow night, we'll have Art from Everclear making a long-awaited return, and then Sunday will be Salt and Pepper.
Oh, Salt and Pepper.
I know you're down with them, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Jars of Clay, and then Duran Duran will be in also next week. But tonight, Ken Marino, Men Behaving Badly. Now, let me just explain what's going on with Men Behaving Badly. Show started up last season. It wasn't a replacement show, was it?
I don't think so. No, it was
regular must-see.
Regular must-see stuff.
Yeah. Sure,
and
TV.
Now, this is just my layman's observation of the show. It came in with a real bang. A lot of people talking about this show. There's a lot of shows, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Like this Suzanne Summers has been on this show, Step by Step or something like that. She's going on her 15th season. And people come up to Susan all the time and go, do you want to get back into TV? And she's like, yeah, I've been on for 15 years on this show with Patrick Duffy.
Didn't she squeeze in She's the Sheriff somewhere in there?
Yes.
Wasn't that on for like 17 seasons in there?
Yeah, Drew was on He's the Bailiff for just a couple of seasons on UPN, I believe it was. It didn't work out.
Spin off of Night Court.
Yeah, all right.
I watched it.
Quiet down now. The point is the show came out big, and I think it had a lot to do with the content, and Rob Schneider was in it, and people were interested, and I thought it was did real well in the ratings, and then it seemed to sort of peter out a little bit, but it was still hanging around. And then there was a little trouble on the set.
Apparently there were some backstage problems. I wasn't there for it.
Right. Well,
you're trying to get some dirt.
No,
it's not going to happen.
I hear Rob Schneider's a difficult guy to work with.
I'm having a great time with him.
I'm sure you are. That's the buzz on the street. That's all. And I believe all the buzz, by the way. I hear buzz about people being delightful to work with, and then I hear buzz about people being horrible to work with. I always believe the horrible part. I rarely believe the delightful part.
That's boring, that part.
Right. For instance, Drew would have a reputation as being a delightful guy to work with. I'm not sure what my reputation is, or if I even have one at this meager stage in my career.
A pro.
I'm looking forward just to having any kind of reputation at all.
This guy's an asshole.
All right, settled, Drew. Anyway, now, Ken, you know from The State, which was on our beloved MTV for... It said in the bio 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
That could be 4 months on MTV,
right? We have short seasons over at MTV, as you know.
Right.
We did, I think, each season was about 6 or 7 shows.
Well, when they say season, they mean like, winter, spring, and autumn.
It's a season, MTV. Yeah.
That's 3 right there.
Yeah. We did 12 seasons last year.
Wow.
That's right. That's right.
They're still playing them.
Still got paid less than our guest last night from Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
For 1 week.
For 1 week. For 1 week of gathering wood and a starched collar.
They pay great over there, don't they?
Oh, boy. Geez, I'm ready to start a foundation. I don't know what to do with all this money. All right, so... Ken, you got a pretty good gig here, which is you're replacing the blonde guy.
That's right.
On Men Behaving Badly.
The guy from ER.
Huh?
He was on ER.
He was?
Yeah, Ron Eldard.
No, I didn't know that.
He was the guy in the ambulance. What do you call those guys?
Ambulance driver.
Yeah, the ambulance driver.
EMT?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've never seen an episode of ER because any show that starts past 9 o'clock, Drew and I miss.
We're here.
And I haven't figured out the VCR yet because I'm only 33. So, but anyway, this is a pretty prime gig. I mean, this is kind of a big deal. I'm sure they went on a national search to find the guy who was going to replace this guy.
Yeah, apparently they were looking at a lot of people.
And how did what happened? You got a call from the agent?
I think I got lucky. It was good timing on my part because It was they had seen pretty much everybody, and I couldn't see them for a long time because I was on hold for a pilot that I shot for
Oh, this is the Adam Carolla School of Interviewing.
the WWWB.
This is
Is this what's going on?
This is Adam. This is the Screw You School of Interviewing.
What are you talking about?
Well, you always, you don't want me to screw you. And if they want, then at the last minute you'll walk in and make an impression.
Right.
That's exactly what happened. It was good timing.
Right, but you can't go as far as I go, which is actual casting directors calling my agent and complaining that I'm abusive. That's a little too far. But it's good to make them want you just a little bit. Like, don't go on the first audition, stuff like that. Make them, it's a lot like a date.
Yeah, kind of. I think.
You show up in a bow tie with a handful of pomade and a hair and some flowers under your arm, drooling. They're going to think you're desperate.
That's exactly what I did for this audition.
Oh, and it worked?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to write that down. All right, so Ken gets the gig, and the show, the premiere...
Sunday.
Is Sunday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, Sunday night. NBC.
They got rid of that Justine Bateman, too. Apparently she was trouble as well.
Yes. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
That's what I
yes, they
heard.
did get rid of her. I don't know if she was trouble.
I just heard there's a lot of trouble there. So you have no problem with Rob Schneider thus far?
No, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how many have you done? Have you just done one?
No, we shot 5 episodes so far, I think.
Oh, all right.
There's 5 episodes. The first one I wasn't in, though. That was the farewell episode for Ron.
That was the wedding episode
That was
aired.
the wedding episode that just aired this past Sunday.
Right.
I think we knocked them dead with being 4th of the 4 networks. We came in 4th.
Really? And on NBC, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. Please, you got to do better than that.
Sunday nights at 8 o'clock.
All right.
Everybody's watching family TV.
Yeah, you're fine. Listen, don't you know, isn't Matthew Carlson one of your buddies?
Yeah.
He's like one of the big guys there.
He's the
Writer,
executive producer, right?
Yeah. And
Creator.
didn't you have a talk with Matthew Carlson about a year ago?
About a year ago. About you.
Yeah, how'd that conversation go, Drew?
Because that guy Adam Carolla, I'd sure like to have him. He'd make a great writer. I'd love to meet him. I'd love to have him work with
What
him.
happened?
Nothing.
Because they've been asking about
Well,
it.
Adam's got great follow through. I came home and said, Adam, you got to call this guy. All right.
Well, you see how well it's paid off. So, Drew, I thought he was supposed to call me.
Well, no. We are organizing a meal though with them.
Oh, we are.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm throwing that, but that's setting it up. So.
Okay. Yeah, my girlfriend works for Matthew Carlson. She's his assistant or something.
And his mom is a colleague of mine at a hospital.
Matthew Carlson's mom, not my mom. She hates Drew.
This is fascinating.
Well,
Am
great
I going to
radio.
be involved in this dinner?
No.
Okay.
Maria,
Yes,
you're 22.
yes.
What's going on?
I've been having sex with my boyfriend for about 1.5 years now. And I've never had an orgasm with him. But I have been faking them the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very frustrating for me. And I kind of feel like I'm past that point of no return. Like there's no way I can...
Right.
I don't know if there's something wrong with me, if there's something wrong with him. I don't know.
This is something you have experienced in the past with other people, is that correct?
Yes.
And what's missing here?
Well, sex doesn't last very long with him.
Mm-hmm.
Foreplay can last for a while, but once things get started, it's pretty much over with.
So you got to fake it real fast?
Yeah, he's a real gullible because either that or I'm a really good actress because he buys it. And
Listen, men are gullible about the fake orgasm. Women are gullible about screwing up their hair. You know, they come in here with a different hairstyle every other night. It looks great. Yeah, it's lovely. Oh, really? You like it? Yeah, that's it's nice. Oh, okay.
That's great.
Yeah, men don't buy that about their hair, but they certainly will buy it about the orgasm.
I know that, and I really care about him a lot.
Why don't you work with him, not focus on the orgasm, but work with him and sort of finding ways that you can prolong this whole experience.
Well, I don't know really how to bring that up without making him feel like...
She's dug herself a big sperm pit is the problem. I mean...
Maybe you can challenge him.
Challenge him.
How?
By saying that maybe you've been capable of more than one and you'd like to...
Oh, like to fake it twice.
I've done that.
You faked a multiple?
Wow.
I'm fired.
Ken,
I know.
a lot of people don't. A lot of people think this is disrespectful. A lot of people think it's disrespectful to the guy. A lot of people think it's lying, and for women it's degrading. For me, this is the greatest gift a woman can give to a man. I mean, think about that. She's faked a multiple orgasm.
Good. That's pretty good.
That's love. Are you crazy?
Truly.
You know, this is the
really care
and
about
people
this guy.
say, "Oh, you shouldn't fake." Well, what about this? I mean, what about when your kid comes home after the third grade and he's got some crap he spilt on some construction paper, and you say, "That's beautiful. That is a work of art. I'm going to put it right on the refrigerator." That's a piece of crap. But what are you supposed to do? Tell him it sucks and throw it away? No, you put it on the fridge. Why? Because it makes him feel good about himself.
But I would really like to get off while having sex with this man that I care about, but it's too, I don't know if it's me, if it's him. God bless him. I mean, he tries really hard beforehand, but once it's started, it's like, it's totally over with.
So the oral thing isn't doing it for you?
He's got a tongue ring even.
Oh,
hey.
Which he pierced for me, and it's not, I don't know.
Here's that theory we have that, again, is that such a wonderful thing, being the receptive partner of somebody with a ring?
It's cool. I mean, I've had it with and without. It's a different kind of a thing, but
that is not a reason to put a sharp device through one's tongue and say, "Hey, it's it's kind of
it.
you know."
I didn't
But listen to what she's saying for everybody else. Oh, it's different. It's okay. Oh, good. Is that why you put a barbell through your tongue to be kind of okay?
well,
come on. Again,
listen, the guy's
a little spice. Adds a little spice.
But it's not worth having a foreign body jammed through your.
Yeah, but
some people like that pain.
Listen,
that's true.
The guy is exhausting all resources at this point. That's all.
So
He's reaching.
It's me. Is it? I don't know if maybe I'm not letting go. I don't.
No, listen. No, you're fine. You just need to find a way to assert what it is that you need with him without feeling that you're going to threaten him.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt his feelings. I can imagine how that would feel to a man to hear after a year and a half. I'm thinking you're doing a great job.
A year and a half.
Oh,
God.
Just imagine hearing, honey, the great sex we've been having for the last year and a half, the amazing orgasms you've been bringing me to, would probably number in the thousands at this point. Fake them all. Every one of them. Every single one of them. Remember the hat trick I pulled the other night? Faked all three of them. Nothing. I was counting the divots in the cottage cheese ceiling.
This is the reason why women shouldn't do that, if no other.
Now, would it be bad? I mean, would it be bad for just to maybe kind of talk him through it? Talk him through a different way.
That's the point. I mean,
approach?
Right. Why not just try something
You don't have to tell him that you've been faking it in the past, but can't you just say something like, hey, tonight, let's do something different.
There you go.
Right.
When you see on his face he's starting to,
actually try to bring the woman to an arousal state.
You back off and you try something different. I don't know. Massage is whatever.
Yeah, you need to mold the guy a little bit, and you lying there and faking it is not doing any molding. And this guy's high-fiving his way all the way back to work the next day. I
have to say, until the tongue piercing part, I thought it might have been my girlfriend.
Robin.
Hi.
Have you ever caught a woman faking an orgasm?
Oh, I don't know.
Not Robin.
No, not you. Robin?
Yeah?
You're 29?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never ask either, by the way.
All right.
What's going on?
Oh, I've got this guy that I'm going out with.
By the way, if I'm out on a date with a woman and she belches in the car, I count that as an orgasm. I don't ask questions.
That is one, right? No?
I count it.
All right.
Robin, what's going on?
I'm going out with this guy. I'm 29. He's 21, and sex is really good with him. And he had suggested going to the city one night to a club, and a strip club. And so I went, and I had a really good time, and I had a private dance with a girl, and he wanted to watch. So he stood in the corner, and while she touched me, and I touched her back, and it was really good. And I enjoyed it.
Were there 9 other guys watching too?
No, it was just us 3 in a enclosed booth.
Oh, that's expensive.
And now I want to go back, but I want to go back alone.
Because you
for a job or
no, because I like the girl.
You like this particular girl?
Yeah.
You don't think it's just because that's the one you had the experience with?
It might be.
Meaning if you went back and found another woman, you don't think you'd be into her too?
Maybe.
Well, no, but she's talking to an expert here in you, and
Yes,
that is
thank you.
that you pretend she was just a guy who was infatuated with a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what advice would you give her?
You got to go. You got to make change. You got to go to the ATM and you got to break some of those 20s.
And even if he does, if she does that,
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're not going to start a relationship with this woman.
No.
But-
No. It's just a fantasy. But it was a fantasy that I guess came true. But now I want to keep fulfilling it.
But it's a fantasy for you and this woman, or for you to have a lap dance, or for you to be with a woman?
To be with a woman.
Oh, I see.
I don't want to. I mean, I don't want my life to be like that forever. But I mean, I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did.
You want to experiment.
Yeah, I'm very experimental.
Mm-hmm. All right. See, guys, this is what you get, by the way, when you start experimenting this way. Because he initially thought this was going to be a big turn-on for him, and it was. I'm sure he's got his mileage out of it in the bathroom. But no, he really has, and this is how guys work. They have different experiences which are good for certain mileage. Like, you know.
He's locked that image in his head for a while.
Right. You're driving down the street, some girl pulls her top up and press it against the window of the car. You go, that's good for 2.
I could use that.
I get like 2.5 out of that one. But you walk in on like your roommate getting it on with his girlfriend, and you've really been hot for the girlfriend for a while. You go, that's 15, 20, maybe 25, depending on how hot the summer is. This is like a good 40 plus for him.
Depending on how hot the summer is?
Yeah, when it really dries out.
Oh, I see.
All right, so this is why he did this, but now you're into women.
No, I don't. I can't say that. But I want to go back.
she's into this experience.
Do you want to go back and have her and dance with her again, or do you want to maybe go out on a date with a woman, or this particular woman?
I want to do the dance again.
It's sort of safe for her to have this fantasy because it's a very controlled situation.
But don't you think if she goes back and gets the dance, that this is just sort of a stepping stone
maybe
to
not.
lesbianism?
We can't say that. Maybe not.
But he wants to go in.
I'd have to go there. I'd have to go there and see. When are you going there?
I don't know. Whenever I can go without him knowing.
Oh, boy. Well, why don't you just go down there?
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to test it out.
I think so.
And what are they, how much was it, by the way?
60 for
60?
nude,
Good God.
and 40 for topless.
60? I want sodomy for 60. Are you kidding? Sounds like I'm playing...
Should we bet on Robin at all? I got a little...
And they're not supposed
I'm
to...
playing Jeopardy.
not supposed to be like-
Alex will take sodomy for 60, please. What?
There's not supposed to be, I guess, a lot of touching. They can touch you, but you're not really supposed to touch them.
Right.
But she was, like, grabbing me and making me touch her, and she put her breast in my mouth, and, I mean, she was, like...
Maybe it was an
I wasn't
accident.
wearing
Maybe
any
they just
underwear
fell in
that
there.
night, but she had her face in my crotch. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Were you drunk?
No. Well, I take that back. I had a beer. But it takes me 6 shots of tequila to get drunk, so I wasn't,
Not a cheap date.
You good looking, Robin?
5 foot, blonde, blue eyes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, see, this call's going to be one for me. I get one out of the call.
Cool.
That put me over the top.
All right.
All right, if I can just get one of these a night.
Find out what the dancer looked like.
All right, go over there and check it out. I'm sure. And I already got her figured.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right, just go explore and bring lots of cash.
don't-
$60 for a lap dance.
You want to bet on Robin?
Holy, no, I don't want to bet on Robin. But when I was in New York, the strip club etiquette is kind of weird. I don't know if you've, True, I'll just count you out on this one. But Ken, I don't know if you come from New York, right?
Yeah.
So you've been to a few strip clubs.
Yes, I've wandered into a couple.
It's kind of weird because when you go into a strip club, you kind of want to seem like a high roller. I mean, there's a weird thing between wanting to get close to the stage, wanting to do a lot of tipping, but also wanting to save your money. And at $5-6 a beer, it gets a little bit expensive. And when I was in New York about a month ago, I went to Scores.
Oh, that's an expensive one.
You're very expensive.
That's just to get in, it's like $30 or something like that.
Yeah, and you have to you can't wear shorts or blue jeans. They have a dress code and everything. And there was a couple of guys who were sitting in front of me, and they recognized me. And they said, we want to get him a lap dance. So stripper came over, and she said, I'm giving you a lap dance, but they're very cryptic, these strippers. Or the music's loud and they just don't talk real good. But she came by and she gave me a lap dance. And when we were done with the lap dance, I said, what I owe you or whatever, and she said, no, those guys paid for it.
But you can tip me.
But she said, would you like another? And I said, who's buying me all these lap dances? And she said, the second one's not for free. And I thought to myself, well, I just got one from you. I mean, now I'm going to
do this time?
I'm going to pay for another? Yeah, what's going to be so different this time? Besides, I still have the same erection I had on the last one.
This is the Coolidge theory.
So, the Rita Coolidge or Calvin? Or
Calvin Coolidge.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you the story sometime.
Okay.
I'd love to hear.
Then you explain the whole Taft-Hartley thing, too. All right, so now I didn't want to be a jerk or anything, but I said, if I got to pay for this one, no thanks. And so she sort of rolled her eyes, and I said, but hold on, let me give you a little something. I'd like to give you a tip, So I reach in my wallet, and there's 5 20s and a single.
Oh.
And the lap dances were $20. So, of course, she's looking at the 20s. And I'm thinking to myself...
You're not going to ask her for change.
I'm not going to ask her change.
Can you break this?
I don't know where those nickels are coming out of, by the way. But she, twists her ear and a roll of quarters fall out of her ass.
Well, she stands for me. I've seen her work.
So, she's looking at the 20s, and I'm looking at the single, and I'm thinking, now, I can't give her 20, because if I pay her the 20, then it's...
And you might as well get that other dance.
The lap dance is 20, and these guys bought me the lap dance, and why should I pay her for the price of 2 lap dances? But if I give her the single, so we both stand there, frozen in time for a few moments, and then she finally just looks at me and goes, oh, forget it. And she struts away.
And I felt like an idiot. She made $20 from that song.
Yeah, I don't feel badly about it.
She was impressed with you.
It's just, you want to be cool, but... All right, Drew, why don't you sell the hell out of the next call?
Michelle's pregnant, wants to know about circumcision.
Great.
Wait a second.
We'll be back.
Hi, this is Ken,
Chris,
And Jay.
from the Squirrel Nut Zippers, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Wow. Drew, you like Squirrel Nut Zippers,
I
right?
do.
Okay, because I got the horns. This is your kind of music, too, isn't it? Are you techno, or would you say you're goth? I can't remember what you said you were. Anyway, Ken Marino is here.
What's happening? Hello.
He is going to be moving into Men Behaving Badly.
Moving out of my apartment.
And, yes, being evicted from his apartment. But that's all right. You should be buying a condo or something.
What are you talking about?
Well, you're out here from New York, right?
I'm out here from New York,
Did you come out here for this?
I moved out for this, yeah. And I moved into an apartment, and now they're throwing me out because it was an illegal sublet.
Right.
And now I have no place to live. So if anybody knows of any place to live, let me know.
Well, you did that Santa Monica rent control thing.
Yes.
Oh.
Which I didn't know about. I didn't know. You can sublet in New York in certain places.
It's pretty standard practice over there, isn't it?
I've subletted 3-4 times. I had no problem.
Here's the thing I like about New York in general, even though I've never lived there. Although I have been to, as I mentioned, a strip bar or two there. They basically they don't enforce the letter of the law. It's and they actually don't even enforce
any law.
No, it's just sort of live
Too
and
many
let
other
live.
things to do.
Yeah, like, for instance, they don't hand out jaywalking tickets. They got bigger fish to fry.
Right.
And subletting is like, listen, as long as I'm getting the $1,100 in the mail each week as the landlord, I'm getting it. I don't care if Satan has moved in with Manson. Just as long as I get that check, live and let live. Mm-hmm. Here it's all about, everyone here is worried about getting sued or liability or something. I can't explain why everyone is so uptight around here. But it's not the spirit of the law, it's the letter of the law that seems to be enforced around here.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, Mike. And in New York, it's just more...
more laid back, more lax.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem to be as bound up by as many rules, for instance.
I mean, sometimes they enforce it, like this last place that I moved out of in New York.
Right.
We wanted to sublet it, and he caught us. We told him we were just moving to L.A. for a couple of months, and then he pulled up as I was in the big moving truck, kind of sitting there, and then we're moving a wardrobe out, and he pulled up, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? It's moving out there for 2 months. No big deal, you know. So he caught us, and that wasn't a
All right, so now you're out, and you're looking for...
I'm out.
Well, you move in with Rob Schneider. You guys are so close.
Yeah.
He's such a delight to work with.
He is a nice guy to work with. What's going on?
That's I hear things, that's all. Drew, you hear things?
I know, yeah.
Drew hears things, too. Oh, and let me tell you, when Drew hears something, that's bad. That is real bad, because Drew doesn't hear things. Michelle.
I'm 8 months pregnant, and I'm having a boy, and I would like to have him circumcised, but I don't have the money. And I've read about it, and a lot of doctors disapprove of the procedure because they feel it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
There's some controversy.
My folks were in the same position when I was born, but they ended up just taking it out of my allowance slowly. It was like $4 a week for, I think it was like 22 years or something.
I want to know
Somebody has
how
to pay
Dr.
for
Drew
it.
felt about
It is controversial.
Yeah.
And boy, when I read the literature, it still looks to me like it's a good thing.
Don't you get a lot of, if you don't get it, there's a lot of like diseases and germs and
there's
things
concern about various kinds of hassles of irritation and infection,
folding things
and
back.
there's
and
essentially no cases of penile cancer in circumcised males.
Yeah.
So there are some advantages, but the advantages are apparently not substantial, and there are risks of complications. And we had what was that organization we had represented in here? That one.
I think it was like
Foreskin Anonymous. Or some.
Yeah, it's like an organization for. It was like Pre-Pews Now or something. I don't know what it was, but the guy made some pretty good arguments about leaving the foreskin intact.
And there can be scarring, and there can be curvatures, and there can be things that happen as a result of it.
Reading about it is even intact in the later teens. It still could be intact.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Where the foreskin it hasn't separated.
Right.
And I want to know about because I've been in relationships where they have been circumcised and where they haven't.
Right.
And I was in a relationship, and he's 24 years old, and he was a virgin. He didn't know anything about it. He had never pulled back the foreskin or nothing. He didn't.
But don't you have to go to the bathroom? Like when you go to the bathroom, there's got to be some sort of.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. I guess. I don't know. And
he never went to the.
I don't know how, because I don't have the money to circumcise him. I would like to.
For God's sakes, don't do it yourself.
My son, but I want to know, how do I take care of it? They say to just leave it alone, but they said when they're old enough to pull it back to clean it and stuff.
Yes, you got to keep it real clean and dry. Let me ask you this:
how much is a circumcision these days?
Like $500.
$500? I don't think so.
Really? I'll do it for $175.
I don't think so,
That's
Michelle.
safe.
And a six-pack.
Well, is the child being born in any kind of county facility? Where's the child being born?
Yeah, well, I'm on welfare right now, so I'm on one of their medical coverage plans, and they basically don't cover much. And circumcision is one of them that they don't cover.
Oh, they don't? I bet that's a new thing. I bet they got rid of it.
Yes.
Good. This is an extra, by the way.
This is economic forces coming to bear here.
Yeah, it's like, well, we'll get you a car, but we're not going to get you a convertible.
Well, I want to know, is it, I think it's different if you're circumcised and if you're not, about being sexually active and stuff.
No, it doesn't make much of a difference in anything, frankly.
Listen, Michelle, let me explain.
It's a cultural issue more than
anything. Please, shut Drew's mic off for a second. He doesn't know anything. Drew had his young boys circumcised just a few years ago. They're 16 and 17 now? No. They're very young boys, and he had this procedure done to them. And what Drew basically does is he relives his decision each time we do this, and he always argues vehemently about circumcision because it's kind of cathartic. Yeah. Because for him to say, well, maybe you shouldn't circumcise the children would be to admit that he made a mistake with his own. Yeah, leave the mic off. You know I'm right about this, Drew. Here's the situation. The majority of the world is not circumcised, and everything's fine. Okay?
The majority of the world and the majority of
the world. The world. Yeah, we're talking about guys.
And everything's fine in the world? Come on.
I don't know.
Do you really know what's going on with all the men's penises?
Figure out whatever they do in Iran and Iraq, do the opposite. Because those guys are very hostile. I think they had
must be something.
Testicle circumcision or something. All right, Michelle, you're making too big a deal out of this.
Okay, well,
Either way, flip a coin. Heads? Go. Okay.
Heads, it's heads.
All right, and get off that welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
No, I do. I would like to go to work, and I would like to go to school, and I can't right now.
Okay.
I'm 8 months pregnant, and...
How many kids do you have?
No, this is my first. And
All right, that's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
I know.
All right. Oh, I was watching the news today, and they had some big thing where they're giving out, I don't know, Foot Locker was giving out free shoes, and they're just giving out a whole bunch of free stuff down at some mission in L.A., and they were panning the camera down the line, and it was single mother after single mother after single mother with not 2 kids, but like 5, 6 kids, like the same age, which is, all right, you can turn his mic back on because we're getting political now.
Maybe they're all babysitting.
I was thinking to myself, listen, you got 4 kids, you got 1 on the way, you're waiting in line all day on a work day to get a pair of Reeboks.
Microphone, please.
Hey, Mike forgot about it. Hey, Mike, can you turn his mic on? Thank you. Mike got no conversation with the public. Forgot about it. The point is this. Here's my plan. I want to have a free tennis shoe giveaway and then turn it into a big Norplant rally.
Right.
So here's basically what we do.
Give you shoes, give you Norplant.
Here's what we do. We just let it be known around town that they're free sneakers. I'm giving away free sneakers. And I'm giving away at such and such a place on such and such a date. Any single guys show up, they get the free sneakers. Any women show up, they get the sneakers. But any women or families show up, whether it's, a kid or 2, and they're waiting in line all day for a pair of sneakers, Norplant. That's it. Because if you got 3 kids and you're waiting for a pair of sneakers, the government must intervene. This is my plan.
That's not even the government. That's the market. You're saying you want the shoes? Here's Norplant. That's free market?
No, I'm not talking about asking them. I'm talking about,
You tie them down and...
I'm talking about Tiananmen Square type of stuff where, guys come in bulldozers and there's a roundup and we just, like when those tuna nets pull up off of the ship and the guys just throw them in the hold. Yeah, I'm talking about that kind of thing.
I think that's a good idea. When do we start?
Yeah, I'm all about that. Maybe they can do a men behaving badly episode about that. All right, Drew, let's see if we can squeeze into one more here. Ken.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
Adam. Dr. Drew, Ken.
Ken, you're on with Ken Marino from Men Behaving Badly.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, he is the new star.
I like your name, Ken.
Thanks. My question is...
It's not his real name, but go ahead.
I have a friend we've been going out for about a couple of months, on and off. Anyway, he drinks a lot. And when he drinks, he gets violent. And also when he drinks... our relationship tends to, he's more comfortable with me when he drinks. We still go out and everything. But the thing is, his drinking is really a problem. And what I want to do is confront him about it. But I want to confront him about it in a way where he won't get so violent. Because his friends tried to confront him.
Hold on a second, Ken. You know what? This is going to be a little bit of a long one. I want to answer this thoroughly. So why don't we take a little break?
All right. Well, I'm not tired. Okay.
It's time for it. Also, the Catholic Church took a new position on homosexuality today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they issued a letter saying that the church should be supportive of the teen when they tell their family about their homosexual orientation.
The Catholic Church said that?
Catholic Church, the bishops.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, with as many priests getting involved with as many young lads as they've done over the years, they figured they better change their stance on this one.
But I think it really will change things because how much pain goes in is experienced by young people trying to manage this and cope with it and tell their family and come out. It's just very
listen,
difficult.
after watching the news today, I'm all for the Catholics going gay. I would like every Catholic within the sound of my voice to go gay.
What happened?
I really would.
What happened to the news?
I'll tell you, they had the big roundup with all the kids. The sneaker giveaway.
I see. Okay.
I think the world would be a better place. I could name a few countries that would be better if all Catholics went gay. I'm telling you that right now, Drew.
Does it have to be Catholics, or can everybody just go gay?
Well, start with the Catholics. We'll work our way down to the Jews. Okay? All right. We'll be back. The vibrator on the phone.
Hi.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to, go across the room. Do you really want me to take the time to do that?
Because I think it's at the shop and you're lying.
No, it's here. Okay.
Go get it.
You've done it.
Go get it.
You've done it now.
I swear to God, you've done it.
Man, you are right on.
Yeah. Hey, that's not mine.
No, I was just shaving. Forgive me.
Listen.
That was the Badger series.
I told you. Now
She works with the Lone Wolf 2000.
That sucker is on.
Is it on?
Yeah, and I'm still not.
All right, put it against the phone.
Oh no, okay.
Oh, boy, you.
You know, I'm still not excited, and it's on, and I'm looking at it. Something's wrong
but
with
put
me.
it on the put it on the phone.
Listen.
I don't think you're going to get that.
That's a Geiger counter.
Sucker,
There's uranium under the bed.
Now, why doesn't... Oh, I'm just not even excited by that anymore. Is there any way to, like, wake myself up?
All right, yes. We'll explain.
Have you been depressed?
Listen, Drew, we got to go to break right now. Run away. Rebecca,
Yeah?
hang on for a second. I'm going to speak to the vibrator when we come back. All right, and then we'll cure you of all your ills. It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. The phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Ken Marino is our guest. Ken, you may remember from MTV's The State, the sketch comedy show, and then is now parlayed that into co-starring in Men Behaving Badly, which will air Sunday, 8 p.m. on NBC. Look for him on a mini tramp wearing a clown outfit.
That's me.
For
My penis won't be hanging out, though.
One of the latest promotions. And I was reading in your bio something I didn't realize, that The State was a sketch improvisational troupe that you and some others had formed, and then it went.
Yeah,
to
we
MTV.
got together at NYU. About half of us were theater majors, half of us were film majors, and it was never improv. It was all, we would always come in and write sketch. I mean, when we worked before we did a show, we did some improv, but we were never really good at improv. So we did all sketch throughout NYU, and then when we graduated, we said, let's see if we can. We had a little bit of a following at college, and then we said, hey, let's see if we can make some money doing this. And we got real lucky. We got a job at MTV. They paid us about $70 a week.
Yeah, but it's all the granola bars you can eat.
Yes,
Come on.
yes. And the
Let's not
Coke machine.
forget
They
that.
got the Coke machine there.
That's right. Only 50 cents.
And it's rock and roll, pal. It's rock and roll.
Yeah, you get to see Idalis once in a while.
That's right.
So, see, I had assumed that they had put this, they'd had a search and put this thing together like they put together the Real World or
Spice
something
Girls.
like that, or the Spice Girls. But the State had already existed, and then it went to MTV, and it was on for 4 seasons, which is
well, we did about 28
3
shows.
weeks.
So we were on about 2 years, and they would just constantly play our shows over and over again.
And
Do they do that at MTV?
and that pay, and that show. Now that hasn't been on the air for a couple of years, has it?
Yeah. We left there and we moved to CBS. We had a deal with CBS and to do a couple of specials in hopes to go to series, and that just didn't pan out. It wasn't a good match. CBS, which is kind of an older network, and then of course us. We weren't.
I had a brief stint with a project on CBS, and I
Did you
realized,
have to say Minty Fresh?
No.
CBS, Minty Fresh.
No, I'm sure if I was scared to bring it up because they would have said, let's run with it, Adam.
Run that.
But I know they're very uptight over there. And for sketch comedy, it's so hard. I mean, people... I did sketch comedy for a long time, and people watch sketch comedy, and they're very discerning about it. They watch Saturday Night Live, and they say, it's not as good as it used to be, or they complain about, Mad TV, or whatever it is. People are very judgmental about sketch comedy, but what they don't realize is that sketch comedy is one of the more difficult comedic genres to pull off.
It's really hard, and it's also, what it is, and people would always say this, they say, I watched your show, there were some things I really liked and some things I didn't like,
Right.
And then there were other people who liked the things that, the first person didn't like. I mean, the thing about sketch comedy is it's always going to be hit and miss, because it's the idea of it is to create different little worlds in
Right.
each thing, and so you never, it's rare that somebody's going to be like, oh, I love that whole show,
Right.
Unless they're big fans of yours.
And what about the children's books?
What about
I
this?
saw that at the bottom of the bio there, yeah.
Oh, God.
Let's see this.
Yeah, I'm writing...
He's written several books for children.
I wrote a couple of children's books that are being illustrated right now by this woman who just had her first book published.
What are these books called? What's the main character? Is it like a dump truck or something?
One's called Andy the Wall. It's about a wall named Andy.
Really?
Yeah.
For kids that take mushrooms, or what is this for?
And it's about a wall, and he doesn't. He's kind of boring, but it says he dreams about doing other things, and cut him some slack. He's
he's having a sconce move in or something like that.
He's helping you out. So he might be a little boring, but he's got a job to do.
And what is the
other one's about a cow parade. About a parade of cows coming through town, an annual bovine event.
And is each page just like 3 words on each page?
2 words.
Yeah, my mom, we have a family friend who, I have a theory about writing kids' books.
Yeah?
I think anyone could write a kids' book.
Oh, yeah? That's fantastic.
I don't mean to be insulting.
Oh, you are.
But I have, I've seen a lot of kids' books, and, my mother has actually, we have a family friend, and the woman went off to go write children's books. And my mother's really impressed by this, and she says, look, we got a new book. Look at the book. And I look at the book, and Anne jumps up and down on the bed. Next page. Anne hops off the bed. We're now at page 27. She's still just getting
jumping up and down on the bed?
Jumping up and down on the bed. And I don't want to be mean or anything, but it's, I don't know. Drew, how does this stuff work? You have kids.
Yeah. Our kids tend not to like the ones that are the few words per page. They like lots of pictures.
Yeah.
But they like poems, and they like long stories.
See, I think the best kind of children's book is something that that adults kind of dig too. That's why I like Shel Silverstein.
Right.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Right? He did the ABZs and all those
up and whatever that is, up and something.
Up in the roof or something like that.
I was a Yertle the Turtle man. Where the sidewalk ends.
Really, when you get right down to it, Dr. Seuss had it all.
Yeah,
he absolutely had it all. He's got the story, he's got the morals, he's got the rhyme, he's got the interesting words, and he's got the pictures.
I like the old. I like the old tree one. Remember the tree and
the forgiving tree. What is it called? The green tree, and the kid comes, and then
he needs to swing, and then it's like shade, and then he cuts him down. He makes a
forgiving tree.
Makes a bong out of him or something. You know the tree one?
Yeah,
his college years.
See that one. See, Madeline's another one. Poems, story.
That was
Curious George, another one.
Okay, settle down.
Where the wild things are.
All right, I was Yertle the Turtle. It was still my favorite. Tracy.
Hey, you guys didn't want to get back to Rebecca and her little thing?
Oh, yeah.
Good, Tracy. We'll be right back.
That whole parentheses thing there, it always screws me up. Rebecca?
Yes.
All right, put the vibrator on.
It's off. It is put away. I don't even want to look at it. I'm just disgusted.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Are you on medication?
No, I'm not. But, I don't even think I want to get into another relationship with a man. I find them to be totally... I don't feel like they can do anything for me, and I don't know. I don't. Is this like the end of my prime at this early age?
Hang on a second. Are you menstruating normally?
I went on Depo-Provera.
When?
About 4 months ago, and
that may
in case the vibrator came.
The way you're the quality. Listen, Rebecca. Hang on a second.
All right.
The quality with which you're describing this does suggest a biological change. This is kind of how people talk about their sexuality when they're on, say, a medication like Prozac or Paxil. They go, oh, it's just, forget it. It's just, why? It doesn't make sense even. And some of the oral contraceptive pills, and kind of notoriously, Provera can do this.
Oh.
So it may be this is a shot that you take every 3 months. It gives very good contraception.
Oh,
but you may want to go on the pill. And you might find that things rekindle.
Well, it's really the ultimate in contraception, which is you hate all men after
want to have it.
after the first shot.
The one that's associated with increasing sexuality are the triphasic pills.
All right, good to know. There's biphasic and monophasic.
Monophasic and triphasic usually.
And did they go up to quadphasic?
Not yet.
No, that's a hell of a
some other dimension they do.
Tracy.
Hi.
All right, now you're back. You're 18. What's going on?
Well, I seem to have problems with depression, and it's like I'm kind of scared that it's going to move on later in life. I was wondering what I could do to stop it before.
What's been happening?
Well, like a couple of years ago, I went into a depression for about a year. I wasn't aware of it, and then I got out of it.
You didn't know you were depressed at the time?
Yeah. And then, no, I've been depressed other times, too, but
that severe time, that 1 year, you really weren't aware that you were depressed?
No, but now I can see when I go into it.
Right.
Like last month, I went into one maybe about 2 or 3 weeks or something.
All right.
I'm starting to catch on to what's initiating the depression.
What triggers them?
Like when my friends are gone. Like the first one, because the base closed down, all my friends moved away, and then so I had no friends, and then I just.
The base closed down?
Yeah, you know when.
Your prostitute buddies had to leave?
Excuse me?
Okay. It's a little military humor there, Tracy.
Oh, I couldn't hear it.
Okay.
So anyways, and then my other one, my friend was leaving for college, and so like my closest friend.
The quality of what you're describing here is though the mood stability is the issue.
Yeah, well, I do have highs too.
Yeah, and so you got to wonder if this is the beginning of some sort of bipolar process, and you need to see a psychiatrist, have this evaluated. There are pharmacological ways of assisting you.
Drugs.
Are there pharmacological tests that can be done?
Not really, no. It's a historical, it's a clinical diagnosis.
Yeah, that's sketchy at best.
No, it's actually quite accurate.
No, please, Drew. Listen, everyone in my family was depressed. Yeah, but I would have been on these pills at 18.
Yeah, how do you
I'm not talking about antidepressant here in this case so much as mood stabilizing medication. Actually, anti-epileptic therapy tends to work very effectively for this kind of thing.
Well, I really want to see what I can, like, I'm really catching on to what's initiating it.
Yeah.
So, like 3 weeks in, I was like, I went to my mom, and I was like, I think I'm getting into a depression. And she was like, well, I can take you to a psychiatrist if you want. And then I went out of that. And then for a day, I was like on a high.
Does your mom go to a psychiatrist?
No, but we have like a history with psychiatrists, so we have like a lot of experience with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, the family can't be too bad because Mom offered to help, which is usually
a good sign.
Usually it's, are you nuts? I'm not taking you to a psychiatrist. You know, it's just, get out of here.
Just get in a better mood.
Yeah, come on. And watch Happy Days or something, would you? That's free.
Bipolar illness is if you had a thyroid condition, you wouldn't resist going to the doctor and having it taken care of. I don't know why people can't understand that brain chemical issues are that concrete, that specific, and can be affected easily with certain medication.
Well, people can grasp that, I think.
But a muscle problem in your leg is a very different thing than problems in your head. There's a lot more things going on.
No,
up there.
this is isolated to the mood stabilizing centers of the brain.
Let me help you.
Nothing wrong with it. We're not saying anything dynamically is wrong. The process is wrong. Thought's not wrong. Mood stability problem. The parts of your brain that are responsible for maintaining mood stability, that is disordered genetically in people that have bipolar illness. And somebody leaves and all of a sudden she can't get out of bed. I mean, it's profound, and it's going to probably the swings are going to become more wide and more wild as she gets older. And if she's not careful, I mean, people can hurt themselves. It can be life-threatening sometimes.
Here's the problem. When you have a problem with your knee, you go into the doctor, he takes an X-ray or takes a scope to it and tells you definitively whether you need the surgery or whether you don't. The problem with this is there's a little bit of guesswork. And sometimes in the past, some psychiatrists have been a little overzealous in handing out the drugs. And what that's done is it's ruined it a little bit for people.
They don't need it.
Now they got a bad rap, and people are saying, don't go. They just want to give you these things out. And it's sort of left a bad taste in people's mouths. So that's what's going on. But I think healthy skepticism sometimes.
Sure. Oh, listen, you know me. I'm not a huge believer in medication, but where it is appropriate, it's not just appropriate. It's unethical to say anything otherwise.
What about all your buddies handing out what the hell am I trying to think of with the viruses that are running amok now?
Not vaccines?
No, not the for Christ's sake, I should have went to college. What the antibiotics? Yeah. They hand these things out willy-nilly. Now we have these super strains, and I'm getting it. I'm next in line for these things, yet I've never had one of these things. I've been screwed over. How do you explain that? What's up with that, Drew?
People shouldn't go to the doctor when they're young and healthy. Period.
Oh, you're blaming the people for going to the doctor.
You don't know how... Listen, I probably am virtually forced to prescribe antibiotics a half dozen times a day when I would rather not. And I will spend...
When you would rather not?
I will spend 10 minutes with the patient explaining it's a virus, it's this, it's that, and it's, well, you don't understand. I always get this, I always get antibiotics, I always get better. I can't believe you're going to... So now you have a liability. Now, if you don't give it to them, and they're threatening you, and they get worse, it's your fault.
See why I had to say brain vacation? Because I had Drew next to me saying, listen, we got to do it. Come on, just fold. Fold to the man. Let's get our money and get out of here. Mikey, you're 21.
Hi.
Hey. I do agree. People are pussies, but doctors should have taken a firmer stand a long time ago, and then you wouldn't be nailed to the wall.
But there's the British healthcare system had a advertising campaign where they said, look, if you have an upper respiratory infection and you see a doctor, you'll get better in 5 to 7 days. If you have an upper respiratory infection, you don't see a doctor, you'll get better in 5 to 7 days.
Right. That's a good campaign. No, I knew what they meant. Probably confused a lot of us drunken Brits, though.
Couple of too many pints.
Mikey?
Mikey.
Okay, Mikey. Let's,
I had a question. In our school newspaper, they were talking about giving out free condoms and dental dams on Friday, and I'm not sure what a dental dam is, and I was just kind of wondering.
It's a sheet of latex that you can lay over any body parts that you might be contacting.
So it's not like fitted or anything?
No. Just a big
it's
square.
Like a soft. It's a square or like a soft shell taco looking size, isn't it?
Right. It's tortilla size.
It's tortilla size.
Have experience with this stuff?
Limited. I once put one over myself while I masturbated, just for effect. And then it cut off the oxygen flow to my brain. And paramedics had to be called in. And then I actually inhaled it when they brought me around.
How do they keep it from not going totally in your mouth?
It's a big piece.
It's like a big size tortilla.
Sheet. Yes.
Oh my!
It's not.
Yeah, it's burrito
sexy
size.
looking.
Yeah,
There's nothing like.
No,
it would turn you on about it.
It is. It's something you'd use if you had to, if you had to fish something out of the toilet or something. This is what you would use. It's really equivalent to what the guys use when they walk their dog and makes mess on the neighbor's lawn.
You got to pick it up with something.
You got to pick it up with something.
Paper towel size.
Same principles apply pretty much. So yeah, you just drape it over the infected area, and then the guy jumps in and.
Sounds like you're going in for surgery or something.
It's great. Yeah, it's.
Are they used a lot? I mean,
no.
I don't.
In reality.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Who has used those?
Not in their regularity. No. It's a shame.
No. As much as condoms are, people are like, hey man, I don't wear condoms. I'm not going to do that. Never heard anybody say, we're not doing anything unless you use the dental dam.
Right.
Never heard that.
Now, it was one of these things that was invented because it sort of appeased a certain segment of society. Meaning, not that they wanted to use it, but it sounded like we should be responsible and invent something no one's going to use.
Well, didn't it come out when AIDS became huge, right?
Yep,
Isn't that when it came out?
Sure.
Yeah, otherwise.
No, you never heard of it before that.
Never.
No,
right?
as a matter of fact, I hadn't heard of it before, let's say, the last few years.
Yeah.
Not 10 years ago, but
5 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago. Mikey?
Yeah?
Forget about the dam.
Okay.
You got a man?
Ditch the dam.
Pardon?
Do you have a man?
Yeah. We were just wondering because it was in the school newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, well, we shouldn't ask our dentist because it's probably not anything to do with the dentist.
Now, this was not conceived in the dental office because it's
new.
It's within the last 10 years it's come up with. And as a guy who's been to the dentist now 6 times in the last 5 weeks, I can tell you that there's no new piece of technology in the dental office, and there's really nothing. The guys
stuff from the
he's
turn of the
they don't even have a light. They have to use a mirror and reflect the sunlight from outside into my mouth.
Candle and a tinfoil.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. They use charcoal to write to make the bill. There's
Hey, didn't they have? I just heard a thing that they had in the news that giving condoms away in
yes
in schools actually
not
helped.
Yes.
No, they said it helped it about like 5%. It was a little bit, but it helped a little bit.
Here was the basic data. The basic data was a large study on the behavior of teenagers when they handed out condoms in schools, high schools. And what they found was no increase in sexual activity, increase in condom use. Surprise.
Wow, geez, I have to send out an apology then. Well, I got to write some letters. I got to get going with that. But I was completely wrong about this, Drew. I swore that everyone would just have unprotected sex like bunnies right out there in the hall.
Or they'd have with the condom, but they'd have tons of sex more, right? Which is
good.
ridiculous.
I'm so glad that
Recalculous. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Recalculous.
Thank you. That's a new word.
I don't even know it.
Why don't you work that into...
Recalculous?
Can you work that into a men behaving
the fourth
badly?
episode.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Rob about it.
Well, there's obviously a certain amount of improvisation that goes on the set there, and then next time it says in the script, oh, that's ridiculous. Just say, oh, that's
recalculous.
And it's going to raise a brow, but it'll get a big laugh, and they'll keep it in. And we'll be back.
I've never heard anything more recalculous.
Hey, this is Mike Piazza of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you're listening to Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
You know what I was thinking about today?
No.
Okay. Thanks. Drew doesn't even bother. It's like having a comedy team with a mime. It's like I got Yarnell over here. Drew
Abbott and Yarnell.
I could Abbott. I like that. No, seriously, I can say stuff like, boy, was my old girlfriend fat. And there'll be about 10 seconds of silence, and then I'll say, I'll tell you how fat she was. The beauty of pairing up with Drew. Geez, I could imagine what this is the radio. People must be at home thinking, Drew must be in the bathroom when I come back and say, you know what I was thinking about today?
Cricket.
You know, we don't get hockey players on this show too often.
Right.
We have had a couple of the Kings.
Well, the NHL would not like their players discussing these sorts of issues.
Yeah, they don't condone this. And it's very bizarre how some sports organizations...
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. Some sports organizations, most of them, keep very tight reins on their athletes. And the NHL, especially, we've had a couple of guys from the Kings in here, I think maybe on one or two occasions. They're always prepped not to talk about this and not to talk about that. Yet...
They can beat the crap out of each other.
This is the point I brought up. And I was thinking today, as I was driving around listening to a lot of commercials for the NHL, which they've been playing quite a bit over the radio, and especially the Kings, all involving extreme violence. There is not a hockey commercial that I have heard yet on TV or radio that didn't have something to do with kicking ass.
Sells tickets.
You hear guys slamming up against the boards. This whole new campaign is guys sitting in the penalty box thinking about taking a guy's head off. I mean, they're really talking about the guy's like a it's like a pinball machine bouncing off guys. And one time a guy's helmet went flying off, and he thought his head may have still been in it. And I thought, these bastards won't even let their guys come on this show and talk a little sex. If that's not hypocritical, what is? Please. What kind of... it's hockey guys. I put a pox on all of you. You're all disgusting hypocrites. You basically sell violence.
It's the man
You're
keeping them
selling
down.
violence. You're not
it's
even...
the owners. It's not the athletes.
They're not even selling the sport anymore. They're just selling pure violence. Listen to any hockey commercial. It's all about guys getting the crap kicked out of them.
That's what brings people to the
stadium. All right,
stadium.
but sex sells tickets, too.
You make a very good point there.
They're such cowards. Tom.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, you're 20. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? I got two questions. I was reading the newspaper, and I saw an ad for pectoral implants. What are those?
Those are, I guess...
They're like plywood or something? You just shove it up there?
Wood.
What's that?
Probably saline or silicone, these sorts of things. Like the same as with women. But they're for men. Boozum.
Well.
Yeah, they have calf implants, too.
They have what?
Calf implants, too.
Yeah, I saw that also in the same picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd the guy look?
Yeah, take a look. Hey, also, is that position for coffee boy still open? Because I'd like to reapply.
Oh, did you call in?
Yeah, on Monday. Hey, Adam, I reassessed the situation, and I've had a couple days to become a little bit more mature, and I realized who I was talking to. You're like the royalty of alt radio.
Well, now you're getting better.
This guy is an asshole.
Please, Drew, please, let me say this. Yes, Tom called in, I believe it was Monday.
Jordan,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, Jordan called in on
you said only big people like Ken Marino get to come in.
Wait, I wasn't making fun of you back then, was I?
You were making fun of me?
No, you were saying important people.
He said Jessica Bowman. Yeah, he said Jessica Bowman.
Right. Yeah, you wanted to be a guest. He wanted to be a guest on the show.
I'll bring you some like gourmet 7-Eleven.
Yeah. All right, Tom. We're going to put you on hold.
For reals this time?
Yeah.
All right.
But then we're going to hang up on him, Sharon. Please. This guy gave me a headache. I talked to him for 2 minutes. I got a headache. I can only imagine him running around here. And this is a guy, there's people, it's always a little insulting, by the way. It's like, only in radio does this happen because there's no reference for radio. It's like, wouldn't you be insulted if someone, you went to NYU, you were a theater major, you did the state, you worked your ass off, you've been to 1,000 auditions you didn't get. Now you got this show, Men Behaving Badly. How would you feel if some goofball came up to you and goes, hey man, how about letting me be on the show?
It happens a lot. I constantly did that with the state. They're like, hey, put me in a skit. Put me in a skit. I'm like, okay, just come on by and we'll do it. We'll throw a costume on and see how it works.
Could I executive produce too?
Yeah, come on by, of course.
Oh, this guy wanted to be a guest.
He loved you though.
Oh, we're gonna have Goldfinger on actually in a few weeks, and actually less than that. And I remember Darren. I ran into Darren, the drummer, at a party.
Yeah.
I actually was at a concert. It was at the Boston's concert about 6 months ago, and he said, hey, I was thinking I could, I was watching the show and the stuff, and I could I could come on there and be like the third guy.
Oh.
What do you think about that? Yeah, and I was thinking I could tour with the band and maybe drum.
Who's Goldfinger?
Goldfinger is a
popular
band. The kids love the Goldfinger.
Kids, I don't listen to what the kids listen to anymore. I don't know what happened.
You're way out of the fray. Whereas Drew's on the cutting edge.
Oh, yeah.
Listening to opera on the ride home every night. Mike.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
I got a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I was wondering, is there any evidence or in any way does smoking a lot of marijuana affect male sexual drive?
Yep.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
It affects anything that involves movement.
Activity, yeah.
It really does.
But it also increases circulating levels of estrogen. It can actually cause breast enlargement. It can decrease your sperm count, decrease testosterone levels.
I don't want any of that.
Well, if you smoke a lot of pot, you've got all that.
Oh,
so it definitely can. It'll make you depressed eventually when you smoke it long enough, and that also decreases your sex drive.
See, I kind of sort of think that's starting to happen because I've smoked a lot on a daily basis for a few years now. And
let me ask you can I ask you my questions?
Yeah.
Hurry.
Do you remember the first time you smoked pot?
Yeah.
Did you get high the first time you used it?
The first time.
Very first time. Yeah, it takes about 3 times typically to get high on it.
Drew's great. He asks the question and feeds the answer, right?
Well, he said no to the first time, and so was it around the 3rd time you finally got high?
No, second.
Second time.
Okay. He was hemming and hawing. Actually, he was trying.
You just said the second time. And what did you think of the drug the second time when you really got high from it?
I loved it.
I loved it. Okay, did I prompt that?
Huh?
I don't know. Drew, you're like
what's the point?
A marijuana addict will always will frequently respond when you say, "What do you think?" They say, "I loved it," and that's it. When I first heard that, I thought that strikes my ear strangely. Most people don't love pot. I mean, I talked to most people about what it was like to smoke pot. They go, "Oh, it was fun. I laughed a lot. It was kind of cool." Marijuana addict will go, "Yeah, I didn't get high for a while. The second or third time, I loved it. It was incredible." When you woke up the day after you had that experience where you loved it, what were you thinking about?
I want to do it again.
Get more pot. And they think about it every single day from that day forward for somewhere between 1 and 20 years. And as time goes along, what's happening to Mike now starts to happen. They start getting depressed, start getting forgetful, sex drive goes off, start having irritability, start having problems at school, having trouble functioning at work. And they typically then switch to speed. And speed is what typically brings them in for treatment ultimately. But Mike, you might really think about getting some treatment for this because it is the real syndrome. I would put money on the fact that there's alcoholism in your family, the parents or grandparents, because that's almost exclusively who this occurs to. And don't get on to alcohol or speed because that can be more troubling even still.
I answered those questions in my head when you asked them.
Yeah. How'd you do?
Well, I didn't say I loved it in my head. I said I laughed my ass off the second time.
The second time you smoked pot?
Second or third time, yeah.
I
couldn't stop. I just remember laughing a lot.
For me, that was a mushroom. First, I took mushrooms and woke up the next day like I had a stitch in my side because I'd been laughing the entire night. Painful, convulsive laughing. But
does that answer like mean anything?
No, but addicts. Look, if your parent or grandparents are alcoholics and you smoke pot and loved it, and they wake up thinking about it every day from then after, that's marijuana addiction. That's what that is.
Wow.
The thing, I think marijuana makes you horny, but it is overshadowed by the laziness. which is I've been high on occasion and thought, I am going to have some righteous sex. If
I can just get up.
And then I go, okay, all right, let me just finish this infomercial, and then I'll...
Have some righteous chips.
I had a small gathering over at the house the other weekend. Everybody got stoned, and I announced when the TV set went on about 1 in the morning, I said, listen, whatever station is on when we turn the TV set on, it's going to stay there, because I know the stone mentality. And I think it was an infomercial. Or it was like Maury Povich.
And you loved watching
and
it,
these
right?
are 5 guys sitting around. I have a damn satellite at my house. There's like 700 stations, and HBO in Taiwanese. And we sat and watched Maury Povich for an hour. Actually, I think it was even longer, even though the show's only an hour.
Did you enjoy it?
Just mesmerized.
Is there something wrong with that then?
Like a strange grip had taken over us. Could not change it off of Maury. And in about 20 minutes into it, I announced it. I said, hey, guys, what'd I say about changing the channel? And everyone went, yeah, he's right. But we still sat there and never changed it. All right, let me, I know we're running late for break here. Mike.
Yeah?
You're 15. What's going on?
I live in San Francisco. I changed my religion recently, and I don't know how to address my parents about it.
Mm-hmm. What'd you get off of?
Huh?
What were you?
Hindu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those little...
Sure, I know the Hindu.
Yeah. And I changed over to Wicca. You know, on nature, magic, and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and,
So, what are you, Indian?
Yeah.
Your parents got to be real pissed about this, right?
I know that.
Yeah.
That's why, I don't know, should I tell them, or should I just keep it under the hat the rest of my life?
How long you been Wicca?
Huh?
How long you been
Keep it under the fez. Or the turban?
No, not a
What's the hat? What's the Indian hat?
That's for, what do you call sick people?
Sick people wear hats in India?
No. It's, called, Punjabis.
The Punjabi.
Yeah.
All right, so you keep it under the Punjabi.
Those are, whatever. Well, so I was just wondering that, what should I do? But
Wait a minute, I don't want to be offensive, but wasn't Haji on Johnny Quest an Indian?
Yes.
He wore a turban.
Yes.
And that was wrong?
No, yeah.
Damn.
Why was that wrong?
They screw you up.
They
in the
screw me,
cartoon.
yeah. I was all screwed up.
Because in India, people are all mixed around and stuff, you know.
Right. So no turbans.
Yeah.
Well, there are turbans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And what about the snake in the basket with the flute?
That's part of the religion, Hindu, because they pray to, the cobra is a special snake to one of the gods.
Right. Anybody's praying to a snake should be open to other suggestions.
Definitely.
Yeah, they pray to a snake. You pray to a tree.
Definitely.
All right. So you're not trying to cast a spell on anybody. You're just into the natural stuff.
And also,
right?
at 15, you can have all kinds of interesting ideas that
explore.
Yeah, that blow with the wind. Next year it might be something different.
Maybe.
But what do they require you to do as a Hindu?
Well, like every few weeks, you have this prayer thing at your house. You invite everybody the hell you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody comes over. They stare at you while you sit in front of this guy who just chatters on, don't know what the hell he's saying. And let's see, everybody stares at you, and you got to give this guy $500 before he leaves.
Sounds like when I go to church.
Waste of money.
Wait a minute. I think I've been to one of these things. Does he have a ghetto blaster with him? There's no nude chicks around?
No.
No. Okay. That's different. That's a bachelor party. That was right. Okay. There's a guy who's making a lot of... There's a lot of parallels there, but just a little bit different.
I'd like to see this picture.
All right, Mike, here's the deal. Here's what I want you to do with your religion.
Yeah?
With the Wicca.
Yeah.
Pretend you're turning gay.
Hey.
Just hold on a second.
Okay.
And approach it the same way.
Okay.
Don't tell your parents until you're totally satisfied with it, and you're a little bit older and out of harm's way. Wait till you're off at college.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I have one more thing.
Yeah.
A few nights ago.
And be careful. You're not going to be able to meet any good-looking chicks. They're all heavy, the Wiccas.
I know.
A lot of fat women.
Hey, shut up.
No, it's true.
It is?
I've never seen a skinny witch.
I have.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Is that
on
why
TV.
is that why you changed over?
No, that's not the reason why. She's got the biggest, I've ever seen. She is beautiful.
And she's into the Wicca.
Yeah, she's in Wicca.
And you're trying to get you converted because of her?
No, she turned atheist when I turned Wicca.
Oh, that's rough. Now you got to go atheist.
No, I'm gonna stay Wicca.
Okay.
Well, the thing that happened was a few nights.
Hold on. Wicca is like atheists who recycle. That's basically what Wicca is. I figured the whole thing out.
You believe in a god, you believe in a goddess.
Right.
And
yeah.
You
All right, Mike. Listen.
Yeah.
We got to go.
You do?
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's late for us.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've been on for 87 minutes.
Yeah, and it's my people's Sabbath today, isn't it, Drew? It's Rosh Hashanah. Yeah.
Can I just
Okay.
ask one question?
No. All right. Well, we'll put you on hold, and you tell it to Sherry, and then if it's good, she'll tell us.
She already knows about it.
All right. Please. I'm arguing with listeners like I can't hang up on them. You seem like a nice guy. Just don't tell the parents. Don't piss your parents off while you're living with them. That's
Absolutely.
my motto. Okay.
Hey, this is John Papa from Blues Traveler, and you're listening to The Loveline, where love likes to hang out.
Oh, that big teddy bear. Tonight, our guest, Ken Marino. Ken, you remember from the State on MTV, and you will soon remember him from, and I don't mean that it's going anywhere, Men Behaving Badly.
Behaving Badly.
Sunday nights, 8 o'clock, NBC, huge break. I mean, it's Rob Schneider and that other guy are paired up, and then the other guy goes south, and they go on a national search to replace this guy, and
you wind up with me.
I went up with Ken, yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened.
They flew you out from New York to audition and everything?
Yeah, they flew me out. I auditioned on tape in New York, and then they flew me out here to L.A., and then they wanted to see, they liked me, and they wanted to see how my chemistry with Rob was, but he was in Hong Kong at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then 2 days later, they flew me out to Hong Kong.
You can't be serious.
Very serious. It was the most bizarre experience of my life. It was a couple of weeks before the turnover.
Right. Did you join the sex tour with him, or?
We went to after we went on tape and read our did our scenes together, and we put it on tape. Went to a massage parlor called Happy Endings, and I'll say right now that the endings weren't as happy as I thought they were going to be.
He was filming a movie in Hong Kong? I'm
some sort of Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Yeah.
And they flew you out?
Yeah.
Oh,
first class.
Oh, they just throw money at stuff on TV.
It's great.
I swear to God, I'd be pissed as a shareholder, by the way.
It's just no way to run a business.
No, it's not. I was yelling about to Drew about this yesterday off the air, but we've taken many pictures together for many publications, and they've all come out quite nicely. And usually when we do an interview and they have to take a picture, Drew and I always forget. Drew and I get here at 9:30. Maybe Drew gets here about 9:45 every evening. And the night before, Ann will say, so-and-so from such and such publication is going to be here tomorrow. I'll be here at 9. And we'll say, okay. And then we both show up at
9:30.
9:45 again. And the people are pissed off because we're on a schedule.
And
we can't figure it out.
We're not shaven. We're not clothed.
Unshaven,
properly.
wearing a T-shirt. And they say, we need a picture for the cover of this or for this magazine or this newspaper. And we just go, all right, well, you got 8 minutes because the show's starting. And they just take a picture of us. And it always comes out great. I mean, and some of the best pictures you've seen of us are from these small magazines, oftentimes, not big time ones, and taken very hastily. Like we've had under 10 minutes to take these pictures, and they look great.
That is correct.
They're-
Because you're a good-looking guy.
No. On the other hand,
no,
handsome
she does have a point.
It's not about us.
No, we're attractive enough that you can get a good picture of us.
What's the point?
And capture the show.
point is
Here's
what
the
happens,
point.
yeah.
When we did a whole photo shoot for the TV show,
right?
There were took us 11 hours.
Yeah.
There was a caterer's assistant, photographer's assistant,
12
makeup
rolls of
girl,
30
hair
rolls of film.
girl, 30 rolls of film, 15 guys from Bragman, Nyman, and Caffarelli all wasting time over there. Everyone just trying to, hey, that Bragman, Nyman, and Caffarelli must be just a hellhole in that office because they're all dying to get out of that office.
It was Howard Bragman.
It was the actual Bragmans were out there. the point is everybody from William Morris, which must be a hellhole too, because they're all dying to get out of that place, and Bragman was there. Everybody was there. They shot 30 rolls of film. Drew looked retarded. I look gay. That was it. That's what they got. I swear to God, there were 35 people standing around there. They had huge wardrobe changes, guys getting into fist fights over what cardigan Drew should wear next. It was a complete disaster, and it probably cost them 20 grand. They came up with nothing. Meanwhile, these guys fly out from some San Diego rag newspaper. It takes them 8 minutes. They get a shot that's 300 times better than those guys came up with spending 20 grand in a day.
Too polished.
That's all you need to know about TV.
Too polished.
All right. Flying over to Hong Kong. Oh, please. All right. Brian, you're 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
I just had a quick question about abuse. Having some kind of difficulties dealing with it.
So far, nothing quick about this question.
Hold on a second. Get in touch with those feelings of abuse. Let me just... I want to take this one.
Yeah, if you
I
say
like
so.
that one. Looks
Yeah.
like fun. Charlotte,
Yes.
you're 22.
Yes.
Real fast now. What's going on?
Okay, well, I had my 6-week postpartum appointment today, and the doctor gave me this really huge word that basically means that my bladder has fallen.
Cystocele.
Huh?
Cystocele.
Yeah, and what happened was he gave me a mirror, and he told me to bear down, and it just came out, and it really freaked me out, and I didn't even think to ask any questions because it just looked really strange.
What's happening here?
And
Wait a minute.
It means you had a child. You had a vaginal delivery. That's what happens when women have babies.
this is my second baby, though, and this is... He
Charlotte,
told me that in 5 to 10 years I'd need surgery.
Hold on.
Probably.
What was the mirror for?
Just so you could see the
I could
bladder
see
pushing down in the vagina.
Is it... Look, you couldn't take the guy's word for it?
Well, he wanted me to see it just because...
Charlotte, very common. And if it didn't happen now, it would happen when you're 40, 50 years old. Because that's most women that have more than one or two, that's one of the arguments in favor of cesarean sections. In fact, I had a friend... he was an obstetrician, and his wife was a pediatrician, and she was very clear she wanted a cesarean section no matter what. And she said, kiddingly, she was the president of the Vaginal Preservation Society. Mark Lebed's wife. You know Mark Lebed? Dr. Mark, been on the show a couple times.
Yeah. I do? Yeah.
But,
the hockey player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is that if having a child, having a watermelon move down your vaginal canal rips it apart. And typically,
So
the bladder
out?
will fall in, or the rectum can fall in both, and it can be repaired as time goes along.
See, I heard something now. This, I don't. Obviously, this isn't the right term for it, but in the gay community, there's something called trunk butt, where if you have
Adam's looking at me with a knowing look, like yes.
If you have too much anal sex, your something falls out of your anus or something like that.
You can have a rectal prolapse.
Some Samsonite falls out of your ass.
And I guess it's called trunk butt, because
rectal prolapse.
Rectal prolapse, trunk butt.
Yeah,
could be.
Yeah, word on the street is trunk butt. They had to start using some of that street lingo, like rooster or something, when your patients come in. Yeah, you got trunk butt. You got a little bit of the clap and strong argument for the trunk butt. All right, let's see, Brian.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going on?
Well, my girlfriend just broke up with me, and I'm doing everything I possibly can to make her feel special and loved and try to get her back, and she just calls me an abuser. And
why did she leave you in the first place?
Last year I lost. I invested with the company, and I lost $100,000.
When did you hit her?
Yeah, no. It's one thing is I've always prided myself to think that's one of the most perverse things to do. Is,
oh, okay. Well, why is she calling you an abuser?
Oh, well, first of all, I'm bipolar, and I have problems with my, obviously, with my, with my attitude, and,
Did you physically abuse her?
Huh?
Did you physically abuse her at some point?
Oh, absolutely not, no. It was verbal.
All right, hold on. Oh, it was verbal. Oh, thank God. I mean, listen, Brian.
Right.
Here's the. I'm going to give you the whole truth here.
Sure.
We're out of show. We're just about out of show.
All right.
You're not in a good condition to talk on the radio, but Drew is in good condition to talk to you off the air.
Sure.
Would that be all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, why don't we do that? Because I can see you're hurting and you need some help, but we got to go to break and we're out of show.
All
so
right.
Drew is now making his way over there into the studio. He's going to pick up. Actually, can Drew just pick up? Can I hear him when he picks up? That won't work? No, we don't have that kind of technology in place here.
Beauty of modern technology.
Drew, are you there? No. All right, so we're going to switch over. All right, Brian?
I'm here.
Hey, Drew, what's going on?
How are you?
Hey, smack Ann on the top of the head for me, would you? I'm looking at him right through the glass there. Brian, you there?
Yeah.
That's Drew. It's like you called him at home.
Okay, great.
Except for he's going to hang up in 3 minutes. All right, so chat it up with Drew, and we'll be back with a little more Loveline after this.
Hi, everybody. This is Art from Everclear, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes, you is. And Art will be in here tomorrow night. Good.
Imagine that.
It's been a while. We really do like him, and that'll be a nice Loveline reunion. Drew, did you do all right on the phone there?
Yeah, turned out he was bipolar, hadn't been taking his meds, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, sounded real depressed.
He was very depressed. And the girlfriend sounded more abusive than he did, frankly.
Okay, we're out of time. Ken Marino, thank you very much.
Thank you. I had a great time, man.
Ken's a nice guy. We get a good vibe off of Ken. You know, it's not that song and dance you get oftentimes from the TV folks. Sunday nights, 8 o'clock, NBC, Men Behaving Badly. Do not miss it. It's going to have, Ken will rub his New York style and attitude and stink all over this show. And it's going to be...
I'm spraying all over that show.
Oh, bigger and better.
Even my
he's a cat man, too. You can tell.
Ken Marino, thank you. Art from Everclear tomorrow night. And until next time,
Thank everybody.
I thanked them the last 2 nights. It's Sam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed herein are certainly opinions, that's for sure. If you'd like a written transcript of today's program, you probably should have written it down yourself. And if you did, we'd like a copy. Loveline producer Ann Wilkins.